Hello there, my human family. This is Yo Joy to the World. Here in the spiral time as we learn to tell spiral time using the Sabian symbols. The 365 degrees around the sun that is a year for each of us on the human plane. So right now we are on the date of this Aries full moon at the 14th degree of Aries. Aries is the first sign of the 12 going around the zodiac. So this is like a fresh start, a new start as the full moon releases this energy across from the sun at the 14th degree in Libra. Aries and Libra share an eternal reflection in the circle that is our astrological wheel. So right now, this is where all the planets are. They go by degrees. 13th degree is where the sun is at this time in Libra. We've got the 7th degree the moon is at now, and so on and so forth. So the idea is that when these numbers align in the circle, they create a sacred geometry, and they also, like, if you think of that, it's chimes, music notes being struck. Every time it hits a degree, there is a harmonics released, and it becomes like ting tong tung ting tong. This is the song of the universe as the notes strike the degrees, as the planets sit upon them. They initiate the wisdom and the information coming from these bodies in our solar system. So right now with the Aries at the 14th degree, for the full moon tonight at 8:37 in Pacific time, it's phase 14, Aries at the 14th degree, a serpent coiling near a man and woman. And the keynote of this degree is the identification in bipolar relationship with the impersonal rhythm of natural energy. So we're in the electromagnetic universe, here manifesting as earthlings. We have also these poles within us, and if you think of atomic energy, the center, the nucleus, if we overlay that in our energy bodies, is the heart. And then we have that which is above and below, which are the two polarities that dance around the nucleus, around the heart, and so on and so forth. So we are learning how to triangulate and balance the polarities of humanity by becoming the 0 point, the third thing, which is actually the first thing, because the one births the two, and the two births the three, and three births all things, as taught in the Tao Te Ching. So I wanted to just use a 3-step progression for any degree that we're focusing on, that we can focus on the degree that came before and the degree that came after, just to get a feel for the spiral progression of what spiral time delivers, going 360 around the zodiac. So the 13th degree, which is the moment that we are before, is an unexploded bomb reveals an unsuccessful social protest. And the keynote is an immature evaluation of the possibility of transforming suddenly the status quo. I like to say the static quo. If we think in our time what we're working through and how the energies are playing out, that people would try to resolve this by forceful means, right? An unexploded bomb reveals an unsuccessful social protest, which leads to the crystallization of adolescent frustration. I can just totally relate. It leads to the full moon, adolescent frustration that delivers us to a serpent coiling near a man and a woman. And that adolescent frustration can come from this polarity and this tension between two poles, not knowing how to become and synthesize the polarities. It's frustrating. But then it moves into a grander awareness that we understand the serpent coiling near a man and a woman, and the yin and the yang within us, the life force that is the middle point of these energies, where these poles create atomic energy when they learn to dance around the nucleus. So identification in bipolar relationship with the impersonal rhythm of natural energy, which, moving through these distinctions and paragraphs, brings us to a crystallization of the ritualization of relationship. That we can understand this polar dynamic in relationship within ourselves and with others after our relationship with ourselves, and learn how to find the balance between these poles within our own psyche. And I say the 0 point, the heart of creation, is what synthesizes the poles. Moving to the 15th degree, the degree after this full moon, is an Indian weaving a ceremonial blanket. The keynote, projecting into everyday living the realization of wholeness and fulfillment. Crystallizing down as we move through this meaning in these paragraphs to fulfillment of desire. So we have to just focus in our own dynamic, in our own ecosystem, within our own polar life, our own atomic energy, what it is that we desire individually so that it could be fulfilled. Yeah? So this is what we're working on, just understanding these polar forces within us in this full moon at the 14th degree. And then we're moving that over just to understand what the 14th degree of Libra in its counterbalance, phase 194 is the 194th degree around the 360. In the heat of the noon hour, a man takes a siesta. A human being takes a siesta. And the keynote at this degree where the sun is today, in this full moon day, the need for recuperation within the social pattern of everyday activity. Yeah, the validation for that. As we crystallize that into relaxation at the 14th degree of Libra. And before that, at the 13th degree, children blowing soap bubbles, the cultural fantasies through which young minds dream of perfect fulfillment. You'd have to understand what would be fulfilled if it was a perfect fulfillment to understand your heart's desire. Imaginative play is the crystallization before this full moon. And the degree after, Libra 15, circular paths is what we're learning to walk in spiral time. Coming to terms with the inevitability of establishing steady rhythms of social activity that cooks down into either the meaning is either boredom or transpersonal peace. Knowing that we live in our solar system, and why 3 is our magic number, is that we are the third rock from the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth. 1, 2, 3. And then to go beyond that, the moon, but Mars is where we reach for our masculine outside of ourselves to project our heart's desire, and so on, moving outward. Oh, so happy full moon, my friends, and may we learn to walk this music together as these notes are struck, as these degrees are activated, as we move each planet around the sun, each in their own time and frequency, that we can move and weave our story back together and weave that robe of cosmic color for each one of us to wear. So with that, my friends, be love, be truth, be joy.